Okay, so here is Lord of Legends, who I actually think is a real unicorn after the ride I had on him today. This is his third post-track ride, and I stuck him on the trailer with Seven at 5 a.m. this morning, and we drove to Virginia. We're at Sharon White's Last Frontier Farm, and my trainer Martha Wonder is based out of there. And if you're in my area at all or Northern Virginia, I strongly recommend riding with Martha. She's unbelievable. So Legends got put on the trailer because I trust him and I think he's fantastic. And two out of three of my personal horses are currently lame. So I wanted a second horse to bring, and I thought that he would rise to the challenge, and he certainly did. So he is having his very first introduction to jumping. So he's literally never done more than walk over a ground pole. And this is his third post track ride. And I trailered him 3 hours to Virginia, and he's doing it in a brand new place. So of course this is not a sales video. This is just video of me having a lesson introducing a horse to jumps for the first time. So of course it's a little bit more raw and uncensored than like a typical sales video that's the purpose of the video is to be a sales video. So this is definitely a bit more uncensored, and it's not perfect, nor would you expect it to be. And I actually think we did some really challenging stuff. And of course, you're only going to continue to build the level of challenging if you think the horse is rising to the occasion, and he absolutely did. And it's just amazing how much this horse was willing to do on his very first time jumping. I mean, you can't force a horse or train a horse to be, I mean, maybe you can train them to be willing, but he is just naturally so willing and so brave. It's just amazing to me what he did today. So of course we started by walking over poles, and on the far side that's a line of one strides, and they're super skinny one strides. And so of course we started by just walking over the flower boxes, but we do build it. And of course everything is built to a very safe, you could jump it from a standstill height. So we started by walking over things, then trotting cross rails. And what we found was he is very smart, and he is the type of horse, it's a simple ride. You keep pushing to the base. He will actually sort of set himself up and hold himself off the jump a little bit. So you can just keep your leg on and keep coming. And that worked really well for him. He was so cute trotting. Those are like 4 foot skinnies he just trotted through, 4 foot skinnies. He just trotted perfectly through that line of skinnies. Such a good boy. So anyway, simple ride. You just keep coming, and he figures out the rest. It's really easy with young horses, and I know I find myself doing it, and that's why I'm always taking lessons on young horses to sort of over coddle them. And certainly the first couple times you approach a new jump, you need to go slow so that they have tons of processing time. But if the horse is, exceptionally willing and brave, you don't want to spend too much time letting them go so slow to jumps, because that's not really how you're going to jump them as they progress and as they evolve. So Martha was really working with me here on pushing him to the jumps out of a nice forward trot or a forward canter, and not over babying him about creeping up to these jumps like in a Western jog. And so that was his best jump yet. She had me come in a way more forward trot, and he totally held himself off the cross rail, and that was a fantastic effort over that cross rail. And so was that. So it really worked for him. Just keep coming forward. How simple is that? Just keep coming. I feel like with any horses, but especially young or green horses, that was so good again. Repetition is key. It's just you need to keep doing it until it's boringly easy. And the more he's doing this, the better his jump form is getting, and it's becoming less and less of a to do each time. He's getting straighter and he's jumping better. And literally all I'm doing is just keeping coming. And this is a set of bounce ground poles. And goodness, he did that perfectly. That was absolutely unbelievable. What a smart boy. Okay, so now the skinnies are Okay, they're still ground poles. At some point we put them up a little bit. I couldn't remember. So I was just trotting through the line of skinnies, which are set to 1 stride, so 1 to a 1. Of course, for him that's irrelevant at this point. Now we are introducing cantering our cross rails. He was actually really good there. And still on the same theme of coming forward. He's being super brave, super willing. He's really smart about holding himself off the jump, so I'm just pedaling forward and keeping the straightness. And that is normal. They're going to hit the jumps. I mean, this is raw video of a lesson. So if you think you're introducing a horse to jumps for the first time and they're not going to knock down a couple of poles, you probably haven't started enough babies. But look at how he jumps the next one. So he knocked down the cross rail before it, and then he comes to the next cross rail and puts in a beautiful effort. And then that one was so good because that was actually a short sort of add up distance, and he was so careful with his feet. So clearly he had learned from the previous time when he had knocked it, and he really did that sweet spot. I love that spot where they just pat the ground and out of a forward canter they add up. And again, that was perfect. I mean, that was just an absolutely perfect spot. Jumped it really confidently out of the canter. Here we come to our bounces, which is now a ground pull to a little vertical. Oh my God, he's unbelievable. I really I think it's incredible what horses with a willing attitude will let you do with them. So it was a long one to that cross rail, but that's okay. It's no big deal. We just keep the positive canter, and he sorted it out. He sorted it out really nicely. And then that was perfect. That was the sweet spot. Right to the base out of a confident canter. Okay, so now we got our bounces again. Oh my God, the horse is a genius. I mean, you can't make this up. That was brilliant. What a good boy. Okay, so now the last thing we did, and this was really hard, is Martha put up the jumps. They're literally only 2 foot, so they can walk over them. But of course, it's set to a 1 of super skinnies. And of course, we're not trying to do the 1 to the 1. We're just trying to keep him straight and balanced and sort of let him figure this out. And so this was obviously much more challenging. That was actually really good, super smart. And then the third one was just slightly one too many, but he was so clever to the first 2. And this is going to happen. If you don't think this stuff is going to happen when you're challenging your horses to do big new things, then you're not challenging your horses enough. They learn sometimes by stopping, especially when they're at this stage. Okay, so here's the next time. Super good boy. Oh my God, he is brilliant. And I know he knocked the last one, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, I'm pointing him down a line of super skinnies 1 to a 1, and he stayed straight and did them all, and he only knocked the last one. So, and those are really light, small poles. Oh, and here's his first oxer, which he jumps brilliantly. So literally you breathe on them and they come down. So I thought that was an unbelievable effort. Super impressed with him.
Thank you for taking all that video.
Oh, you're welcome.
So yeah, I was sort of still talking about the skinnies, but if you rewind and go back and watch that last jump, he just
it's easy when you're standing on the side, not having to turn around.
Nice punch.
Ben.
And I just think he's incredible. I mean, I knew he was a lovely horse.
And if you just keep your feet steady, it's easy to hold the camera steady.
Athletic,
when you're doing all that
talented,
spinning around, that it gets a little.
I think that today he just really, if there was any shadow of a doubt how brilliant and wonderful to work with this horse is, he absolutely proved that he is worth every glowing compliment you could possibly throw his way. And so he ties to the trailer very nicely. He loads nicely, he travels nicely. He even stood perfectly on the trailer. I did him first, and then he went back on, and I took 7 off. And he nickered once or twice when I took 7 off, but stood lovely on the trailer. When I walked away and rode 7, I didn't hear a peep out of the trailer. So that is so impressive, and that in itself is worth its weight in gold, that you can take the friend away and leave them on the trailer. And so I just took a little clip of him standing on the trailer. We were packing up to leave. And so this is his demeanor. What's Seven doing? Being a good boy. Good boy, bud.